that you said in one of your interviews. You said, at one point in my life, I didn't even know who I was, what my purpose was. I didn't want to live anymore. With hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, I didn't give a shit about life. Who I am today is a complete flip the script opposite of that, and just super grateful, man, for my family, for my kids. And that's the meaning of life, man, the true meaning of life.
100%. We can go around as a young person in this globe and see life in a different way. And then you know what happens is, I shook this whole globe up, you know, like a snow globe. I shook it up. And you think reality is what you see in front of you, and then the snow globe kind of settles a little bit, and then you find out that none of it was real. It was all artificial. It's all just entertainment world. It's all on how people view you, even you.
Oh yeah, cat. Words of wisdom. Drop that zero and get with the hero.
I got stabbed 5 times, got my main artery right here in my leg. I almost died. You only have 8 pints of blood, I lost 4.
Damn.
And it was in my friend's seat for 3 months after. It still didn't even dry up, like he had the sponge seat, you know, underneath it, and it was in the seat when he took me to the hospital. My buddy Phil took me to the hospital. It was his fight. It wasn't even my fight. I didn't even know who this guy was. I was his passenger. And he's in the front yard of some dude's house. And he goes up and the dude comes out in this trench coat, and Phil runs like turns into the biggest in the world and runs. And I'm standing there and I'm like, what the that shit? The dude was coming at him and he turns around and ran. Huh. This is my big Phil, man, the big dude.
Robert Van Winkle. Nothing rhymes with Winkle. Oh, yeah.
Vanilla Ice is finally dropping the real reason he vanished from the spotlight. And trust, nobody saw this coming. For the longest time, people just assumed he faded out because he was a one-hit wonder who couldn't keep up in the rap game. But now, word is there was some dark stuff going down behind the scenes. Allegedly, some powerful music execs were trying to rope him into those creepy underground industry rituals. Yeah, the same shady stuff folks always whisper about but never really prove. But Ice, he wasn't having it. I straight up refused to get involved, he said. He walked away from the whole scene, but not before going through some wild, dangerous situations that nearly cost him everything. The big question now is, how did he manage to slip through the cracks when so many others didn't? And did he really come close to getting sacrificed by the very industry that made him famous? This gets deeper than anyone thought, so keep it locked, cause we're about to break down how Vanilla Ice dodged the twisted side of the music world and why stepping back might have saved his life. Back in the early 90s, Vanilla Ice was the face of pop rap, then boom, he was gone. Most folks just wrote him off saying he didn't have the talent or staying power to survive the game. But now, new info is spilling out, and it paints a way different picture. Apparently, his sudden exit had nothing to do with flopping charts or fading fame. Nope, it might have been about surviving something way more sinister. Instead of riding the wave of fame, Vanilla Ice was allegedly being pulled into some twisted behind-the-scenes games, those same ritualistic soul-selling setups we've heard whispers about from other artists. Fresh reports claim that at the peak of his fame, Vanilla Ice was approached by industry gatekeepers and invited to those secret elite parties, you know, the ones people are now linking to Diddy. These weren't just VIP hangouts, they were allegedly filled with shady behavior, mind games, and hidden agendas. But Ice? He wasn't down for any of it. He shut it all down and dipped out. Later on, he started speaking on how fake it all was, the manipulation, the lies, the dark side of fame, and then just like that, he walked away. Now let's talk about those so-called freak-off parties. When Vanilla Ice was blowing up, Diddy was still coming up in the background. By the time Diddy hit superstar status, Ice was long gone from the spotlight. But here's the wild part, Diddy didn't invent these dark rumors. He was allegedly schooled by his own mentors, the same ones who tried to reel Vanilla Ice into their twisted world. After Ice Ice Baby went nuclear, Vanilla Ice caught the attention of some of the biggest power players in the game. That includes the late music exec Charles Koppelman, who, according to whispers, had serious industry ties, especially to Diddy's mentor, Clive Davis.
The message of the devil. It's a spiritual war. So what happens is, in order for that artist to be in position to even mislead the people, they have to be worthy. This is hazing. This is the hazing aspect of it. In order to climb the ladder in the music industry, you have to be hazed. And when you're getting hazed, you're getting f***ed in your ass.
Do you think you saying like basically
this homosexual ritual? I'm saying,
how does the industry situation turn me into a man? It really didn't. If anything, it tried to take man's stripes from me.
Word is, behind closed doors, these top execs didn't just see Vanilla Ice as another artist. Nah, they allegedly saw him as a goldmine they wanted full control over at any cost. To the industry bigwigs, Vanilla Ice wasn't just a cash cow, he was a potential puppet they could control. Allegedly, they were trying to push him into the same shady rituals that would later be tied to Diddy. But Ice? He wasn't falling for the act. He saw right through the setup, and before they could drag him deeper into the machine, he made his exit, ghosted the mainstream, and left the game for good. But don't get it twisted. It wasn't some smooth walkaway. There were moments during his short-lived fame where Vanilla Ice seriously feared he wouldn't make it out alive. Let's rewind. Vanilla Ice, born Robert Matthew Van Winkle, got discovered back in 1987 by DJ Floyd Earthquake Brown, who spotted him tearing up the stage at a South Dallas club called City Lights. Just 2 years later, Ice dropped his debut major label album To The Extreme, and it was massive. We're talking 15 million copies sold worldwide. It moved faster than any album since Prince's Purple Rain, dropped 6 years earlier. Ice Ice Baby wasn't just a banger, it made history. It was the first rap track to hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, breaking into the mainstream like nothing before. Vanilla Ice wasn't just big, he was everywhere. Even Hollywood couldn't ignore him. In 1991, he made his film debut in Cool as Ice. Suddenly, he wasn't just a rapper. He was a full-blown pop culture force. Everybody wanted a piece of him. Even Madonna was so into him that, get this, she actually proposed. But Ice turned her down. Why? Because he was young, in his early 20s, and focused on building his empire, not settling down just yet. Unlike most stars at the top, Vanilla Ice wasn't out here chasing every celebrity woman he crossed paths with. In fact, he kept it surprisingly low-key. He tied the knot with Laura Giarita in 1997, and the two had 2 daughters together. They managed to stay married for almost 2 decades, which is wild long by Hollywood standards. But in 2016, Laura filed for divorce, claiming Ice cut her off financially and was hiding cash from her. Even so, lasting that long under the spotlight is almost unheard of, especially when you remember how insane his female fan base was back in the day. By the age of 23, Vanilla Ice had become the biggest rapper in the world, but that spotlight came with a price. He instantly became a magnet for criticism, especially within hip-hop circles.
That's not what he says at all.
I had my bodyguards who had guns, and they had their people which had guns, and they had us outpowered and outnumbered.
Talking publicly about it for the first time, Van Winkle describes a terrifying night in his suite at a Beverly Hills hotel when he says Suge Knight showed up with 6 other men.
Roughed one of my bodyguards up, they roughed everybody else and my whole entourage up.
People were quick to call him out for cultural appropriation, and there were constant questions about whether he was even legit. Then came the whole Miami mess. He said he was from there, but Arsenio Hall straight up called him out for lying about his background on national TV. Later, Ice tried to clear things up. He admitted he felt awkward being honest about his roots and said he only said he was from Miami to avoid judgment. I lived in Miami and wrote Ice Ice Baby about it, he explained. I didn't think about where I was from at the time. Once fame hit, people wanted answers, and he just didn't feel comfortable saying, I'm from Farmers Branch, Dallas. He added, I didn't tell him I was from Miami, I didn't tell him I was from anywhere. I was just like, man, I'm from around the corner. He said he dodged the question just to protect his personal life, but critics didn't let it slide. They kept tearing apart his story and questioning his street cred. Still, Ice never wanted a free pass. He worked hard to earn his spot. He was obsessed with 80s street dance, breakin', beat street, all of it, and he spent hours locked in, perfecting his moves until they were sharp enough to stand out. In one interview, Vanilla Ice opened up and said, I can't tell you how many sleepless nights I spent copying moves from breakin' and beat street, watching those dancers hit the broom trick, the fishing line, the robot, then adding my own flavor. His mindset? Always prove yourself no matter what. Ice didn't just admire the culture, he put in the grind. He formed his own dance crew and started breakdancing, beatboxing, and freestyling at local malls, earning just $40 a day. But to him, that was real money. I used to spin on my head at the mall and make $40 a day, he told GQ in 2013. That was more than what my rich friends got for allowance. His journey wasn't easy, though. Ice dropped out of high school. He never met his real dad. His mom went through multiple marriages. He grew up in a lower middle-class home, bouncing between random low-wage jobs while chasing his passion. He was the only white kid trying to earn respect in a black-dominated hip-hop scene, and he knew he had to go hard if he wanted to stand out. I didn't have a crystal ball or a clear path, he said. I just knew there was this energy around me. I felt it. I knew I was going to make something happen. Too many people liked what I was doing for it to be a fluke. He threw himself deep into the local hip-hop scene, soaking up the culture, the sound, the movement. His big break? A friend dared him to hit the mic at an open mic night at Club City Lights. He took the challenge and crushed it. The crowd went crazy, and the club's manager was so impressed he invited Ice to perform on the regular. From there, it was a straight come-up. Before long, Vanilla Ice was opening for massive names like NWA, Public Enemy, the DOC, Paula Abdul, Sinbad, and MC Hammer. By this point, Vanilla Ice had built a solid rep in Dallas. He wasn't just rapping, he was winning motocross competitions, battling at house parties, and making serious noise on Forest Lane in South Dallas.
Which is called an autograph signing party in Miami. And this place only holds the record store is called Specs, and it only holds 500 people. And there's 5,000 people showed up. All hanging out in the mall, hanging outside, inside, completely packed. And I had 3 security guards, plus the mall security, which was about 7 of them. So there's about 10 security guards altogether. And I go, okay, come up next. Whoever wants to come next, get a autograph. Wow. The whole crowd. I mean, they ripped. I had my MTV shirt on and everything, and they ripped it completely off. My censorship shirt, ripped it completely off. Broke my watch on the concrete. The security guards had to drag me out of there because the girls had hold of my pants and I couldn't walk, and I was just getting dragged this way and pulled this way. It was incredible. It was terrible. They wrote on the limo with a marker, "We love you, Vanilla Ice," on an all-white limousine with a magic marker that doesn't, a permanent marker.
But things weren't all smooth. He almost lost his life after getting stabbed 5 times. He lost 4 pints of blood and had to spend days recovering in the hospital. It was a close call that could have ended everything. After one of his standout performances at Club City Lights, talent scouts started showing up. A&Rs from major labels were suddenly sliding him business cards left and right. His look, his stage presence, his dance moves, it was all grabbing serious attention. Public Enemy even wanted their producer Hank Shockley to sign Ice to Def Jam. That would have been huge. But in the end, Ice signed with SBK Records in 1990, and that deal changed his life. Around that same time, he started gaining real respect from legends in the game, including MC Hammer and even Tupac. While on MC Hammer's Please Hammer Don't Hurt Him World Tour, Ice opened for him and held his own. Hammer later said he was seriously impressed by how Ice stayed true to himself. He wasn't trying to copy nobody, Hammer said. He was dancing his heart out and rapping and doing it in front of a 100% black club as the only white kid in the room. That takes guts and talent. Hammer said he didn't just perform, he owned the stage. And with Tupac, Ice has said in past interviews that Pac was cool with him. They actually hung out a bit in the early 90s, just vibing and respecting each other's grind. That connection says a lot, especially during a time when authenticity in hip-hop meant everything. Tupac was always known for keeping it real and speaking up about authenticity in hip-hop, but he never threw shade at Vanilla Ice or accused him of stealing from the culture. Not once. In fact, Vanilla Ice says Pac actually looked out for him when other rappers were throwing hate. According to Ice, Tupac gave him advice and even defended him behind the scenes when the backlash got heavy. That kind of cosign, major. But when it comes to Tupac's label boss, Suge Knight, that's a whole different story, and it gets wild. There's that infamous tale that still makes headlines, where Suge allegedly dangled Vanilla Ice over a hotel balcony. Here's how it all went down. Back in 1990, a songwriter named Mario Chocolate Johnson claimed he helped write some of Vanilla Ice's tracks, including the mega hit Ice Ice Baby. Johnson was being managed by Suge Knight at the time, and once Suge found out about Johnson's involvement, he showed up and demanded a cut of the money. Now, when people say pressured, they're not exaggerating. The story is that Suge grabbed Ice by the ankles and held him over a balcony, demanding 25% of the royalties. Ice later clarified that he wasn't exactly dangled upside down, but Suge made it very clear what the deal was during that balcony talk. No confusion there. Fast forward to today, the tables have definitely turned. Vanilla Ice walked away from the music industry and flipped his career into a whole new lane. He's now a successful real estate investor, making millions off properties.
For the real estate, I've been doing it for over 30-something years. I've been a GC. I went to design school, got a degree 18 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's why the TV show has 180 episodes and 13 seasons. Is because we still just do it. I really do it. There's no fluff to my show, you know? I go to seminars all over the world, man. Anytime a seminar comes in, and I'll go to real estate seminars, I'll go to self-help seminars, I go to all kinds of things. I'm really clean. Like I had a weekend, like you, I think, that lasted about 3 years, way back in my early 20s, and then I've been clean since, so it's been a long time because I'm getting old.
Meanwhile, Suge Knight is locked up and won't be eligible for parole until at least October 2034, when he'll be 69 years old. Looks like Ice came out way ahead in the long run. After his wild ride through the music industry, Vanilla Ice pulled off one of the biggest glow-ups ever. He reinvented himself completely. Long before flipping houses was trending on social media, Ice was already buying up cribs in Florida and turning them into major moneymakers. He took the cash from his music days and flipped it into a real estate empire. Turns out dude had a serious eye for design and business. That hustle led to his own renovation series, The Vanilla Ice Project, which aired for multiple seasons on the DIY network. He wasn't just throwing paint on walls, he was building a whole brand and stacking checks while staying way out of drama. See, Ice knew the deal. He didn't sell out. He turned down those creepy industry parties, skipped the shady shortcuts, and played the long game. Now, while a lot of folks who clowned him back in the day are either broke or locked up, Ice is still eating good, living clean, and flipping mansions. Fans today are calling it one of the smartest moves in the game, walking away from the spotlight before it could swallow him up. He didn't let the fame control him, he bounced out with his integrity intact and built something real on his terms. But now it's your turn. What do you think about Vanilla Ice's story? Was leaving the music world the smartest thing he ever did? And what's your take on those wild claims that powerful execs tried pulling him into that shady underground scene? Hit the comments and let's talk about it. And don't forget, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear the real story behind the legend that is Vanilla Ice. You do not want to miss what's coming next.
Ice.
This sleepy little town is about to become cool as ice.
Drop it. What the hell is that? Drop that zero and get with the hero.